As Kentucky seeks to compete in an international market, workforce has emerged as a key policy issue. Employers are struggling to find qualified workers, and job seekers continue having trouble finding openings that fit their qualifications. That is where the workforce training programs and other resources should come in. However, many in the state experience frustrations with the system and the outcomes it is producing.
I couldn't tell you myself exactly what is supposed to be the outcome expected out of a lot of the programs that we have today. I should know. That information should be readily available to me, just like what manufacturing is today should be available to kids and to parents. But right now, it's disconnected. It's not so clear. I've had a number of discussions recently about workforce development across the state and how the programs work versus how they were intended to work, and it's still disconnected.
I look at it from a business perspective, and the first meeting that I attended as a member of the Workforce Investment Board, I think my comment was, I think we need to blow up the entire system because it's impossible to understand. It's impossible to navigate and understand what do the acronyms mean and what program does what. So one of the things that we have tried to do in the past, and I think have to continue to try to do going forward, is simplify the whole system. It needs to be much more customer driven, much more driven by needs and demands than internally and system driven. That process, I think, has improved a great deal over the past few years, but it'll never be finished. It'll never be probably as good as we hope it can be, but I think ultimately that's it. We have to, if I was going to point to one thing, it is simplifying the system, making it much easier, and meeting the customer where the customer is.
A recent survey of Kentucky Chamber members reveals the extent of the workforce challenges from the perspective of employers. The results show less than 10% believe the overall workforce has good skills.
Many of our clients are struggling finding the people they need, especially in the manufacturing area and the high skill areas. And so having a skilled workforce is so important to Kentucky, and having our students be able to fill those roles are so important. We not only want to be competitive here in Kentucky and in the United States, but we've got to be competitive globally as well.
The new workforce report from the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce shows the need for big changes to the system that will require the work of both business and government to help the state move forward by expanding and maintaining a highly skilled, competitive workforce. After reviewing the system for several months, the Chamber identified a number of challenges: a lack of employer engagement, a serious skills gap, need for transparency in workforce programs, insufficient program coordination, inconsistent use of job credentials, increasing difficulty finding drug-free applicants, and a need for better soft skills among workers. As one of the largest employers in the state, Toyota is constantly seeking to utilize strong workforce programs. Toyota President Will James says one of the first steps should include better collaboration between employers and educators.
Well, one of the things that I don't think we've taken full advantage of across the state, honestly, is to get business and the educational community together to be able to specifically say, what are those things that we need tomorrow's workers to be able to do? Because if we would do that, I think the education system can be tuned to it. Then we need to make sure that we've got a ready-made pipeline. The educational process right now just needs a little bit more adjustment or alignment to be able to facilitate that to happen.
Among the educational recommendations outlined in the report, the Chamber suggests the state develop and incorporate soft skills and work readiness certification into college and career readiness requirements for schools, increase coordination between the education and business communities to improve workforce preparation, and continue and expand support for early childhood education programs as a workforce development strategy.
I think it's critical that business kind of define the skills that they need, not just the technical skills, the academic skills, but the work-based skills like attendance, drug-free, a lot of the characteristics that business is looking for, problem solving, things like that. So we've got to have all three: academic, technical, and character type of skills in our graduates too. I think business needs to hear that this is not just another education reform, that this indeed is about economic competitiveness and workforce of the future.
Some of the other main recommendations found in the report include a top-to-bottom review of the state's workforce training and development system to improve alignment, organization, and system delivery, the development of a system to identify all funding sources of workforce programs, where the money is being spent, and what the results are, a greater role for employers in determining membership of local workforce boards that fund efforts at the community level, a joint public-private initiative to raise employer awareness of available workforce programs, and incorporating drug screenings into the application process for state workforce training programs. As the state's leading business advocacy organization, the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce has a strong interest in the quality of the state's workforce and hopes employers, education leaders, workforce officials, and others will join us in working toward a better future.
I know that businesses are ready to go to work on this problem. We all recognize that it's a mutual issue that we all need to roll up our sleeves and be a part of. I believe that the educational system wants the same outcome. So that's a big part of the ingredient right there, just getting us together in a forum to sit down and talk about what needs to happen.